So I think one of the biggest problem that many people are facing these days, many students, is their mobile phone addiction. And so 3 years ago, I realized this. I realized my mobile phone was destroying my life in so many ways, and I'll get into that into this video. And I'll give you some tips on how I use my phone now, what I've learned over the course of the past 3 years trying to fight my mobile phone addiction. But here's the thing. 3 years ago, I declared war on these software companies, and I decided that I was going to stop mindlessly scrolling. I was going to use my phone in a much better way. And it's been a huge struggle. It's been one of the biggest problems in my life for the past 3 years that I've been trying to solve. And it took me about 1 year to just stop scrolling when I woke up first thing in the morning. So this is one of the most difficult things to fight in the modern day. Because here's the thing, when we scroll for an hour on Instagram by accident, or watch too many YouTube videos by accident, we don't do it by choice. We don't sit on the couch thinking, okay, I'm gonna scroll on Instagram for an hour. It just happens like that. We lose the hour and we're like, why am I even scrolling? I'm not even enjoying this. So instead of just deleting chunks of my life like that, I'd rather get my time back under my control and actually spend it, building skills, working towards my goals, getting experiences in the real world, living in the real world, and actually doing what I want to do with my time to gain back control over my phone. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Because one of the biggest problems with fighting mobile phone addiction is because, let's say you want to stop smoking. At least it's pretty simple. It's like, okay, I'm going to stop smoking. That's my goal. When it comes to the phone, the goal is kind of vague. You can't say I'm going to stop using my phone, because we need our phone in the modern day. Our phone is actually so powerful. It can help us. I built most of my YouTube channel through this phone. I learned a bunch of my subjects through this phone. I talk to my friends through this phone. I learn every single piece of information in the world through this phone. So the answer is this. Basically, I've been reading this book recently called Digital Minimalism by Cal Newport. And this is the solution, digital minimalism. It's basically using your phone as a tool. You need to learn to use your phone as a tool. So I'm going to give you in this video a couple rules that I've learned on how to make your phone more like a tool rather than something that controls you. So how to control your phone rather than letting it control you. So the first thing is, be grateful that this is one of the biggest problems you're solving in your life. Most people don't even see this as a problem. They'll just delete chunks of their life like that. And they don't even know that their phone addiction is a problem. So be grateful, good for you, that you're actually watching this video, that you know it's a problem that you want to tackle. Because that's the first step. This was a realization I only came to 3 years ago. Yeah, like I said, the solution is digital minimalism. So basically what digital minimalism is, it involves taking a look at how you're spending your mobile phone usage and really knowing exactly how you want to spend it, exactly how you want to use your phone. So I'm going to explain the details here. But here's what never worked for me. What never worked for me was all these quick tips that I saw on YouTube videos, like turning off your notifications, black and white mode, deleting the apps. None of this ever worked for me. If I deleted Instagram, a couple days later, I'd be like, wait, but I want to, look at some reels right now. And I just re-download the app. It never worked for me. The pull, and this is also what I learned from the book. You can't overcome your addiction by changing your habits, by being more intentional with your usage, because these apps are so powerful that trying to fight against them is literally like bringing a knife to a gunfight. I know that, that it requires way too much willpower, and that's the approach I tried to use at the beginning, and it never worked. You need a completely different approach. You cannot just gradually overcome this, because you need to understand you're addicted, because these companies have designed these apps to keep your attention. They have guys who have been paid millions of dollars. They're geniuses. They're software geniuses who have designed these apps to keep you addicted onto them. It's like a slot machine. This is what I heard from the book. It's like a slot machine. You push some buttons and you see what you're gonna get. That's exactly how a slot machine is. It lights up the parts of your brain, the primitive parts of your brain that keep you addicted to the apps. And there's a quote I really like from the book. Basically, tycoons of social media need to stop pretending they're friendly nerd gods building a better world and admit they're just tobacco farmers in t-shirts selling products to children. This is exactly what TikTok is. It's just, they're selling these addicting apps to children. This is the sad reality about these companies. They really are trying. They really, because they make money when you stay on their apps. So fighting against them is literally a losing battle. So I'm going to tell you now the steps on how to actually use your phone. You need an extreme approach. So it's not about the phone itself. It's actually about these information technologies, these apps that we have on our phone. Because if you deleted all your social media apps, all your entertaining apps, the phone suddenly becomes uninteresting. The phone is just like a document to write stuff down. It's just, a calculator. It's pretty boring. So what you need to do is you need to build boundaries with the apps you're using. Again, the solution is not to just delete Instagram, to stop using social media. Like some people have this extreme approach where they'll quit all of social media. Maybe this works for some people, but for the majority of people, we need social media in one way or another. It's going to benefit our life. I learn a lot through YouTube, for example. I, talk to my friends through certain apps. So the solution that this book, Digital Minimalism, says that I approached to my social media usage is you need to do a cost benefit analysis. So here's the problem. There are benefits to every single app. Every single app has benefits. But what you need to ask yourself is are these benefits actually that big? And is there another way to gain these benefits in a better way? So let me explain that to you. So let me give you an example. I looked at my Facebook account usage, and why do I use Facebook? A couple reasons. One was to get to know what people in my life were doing. Two was to keep my network, because I had like 1,000 friends on there. So if I deleted Facebook, I'd lose a network of 1,000 people. And three was because people in my network would post opportunities, would reach out to me, and if I deleted Facebook, I would miss out on those opportunities. So okay, I asked myself, why do I want those things? Why do I want a network? Why do I want those opportunities? Well, one, it was because I wanted to keep in contact with a small group of people, like 10 people who I deeply, wanted to keep in contact with. And two was because all those other people that I didn't necessarily want to keep in contact with, I wanted them to be open to, giving me new opportunities. If I stayed on Facebook, maybe I would see a story that someone posted where I could gain some kind of benefit from it or whatever. And then I asked myself, okay, is using Facebook 1 hour a day the best way to achieve these goals? Well, okay, first goal, keeping in contact with those couple close friends that I had. Well, no, the best way to actually do this would not be to look at their Facebook post that they're posting, because people only post like a very small snippet of their life. They only post the version of their life they want people to see. And actually the best way to keep in contact with these people and keep a relationship with these people would be just to get their phone number and just to talk to them at least once a week. So I realized that Facebook is not the best way to do this first goal. The second goal was to see the opportunities that people gave to me and saw what was available on Facebook. Now again, why did I want this to happen? It's because I wanted new opportunities in my life. I wanted, to make new connections with people. Now, was spending an hour on Facebook a day the best way to achieve this? No, I realized the best way to achieve this was to spend maybe like an hour a week to just go out there into the real world, go to some events, get some new experiences. I'm probably gonna meet at least 100 times more people that way and make 100 times more connections, 100 times more opportunities doing that. So instead of investing, yes, Facebook gave me a benefit, but I could get an even better benefit with less time by just going out into the real world and getting those same goals met. And the third reason I was using Facebook was to keep my network of people that I've met throughout my life. And I realized, okay, yeah, this was okay, because maybe one day I would want to reach out to someone from high school, for example. So I realized that this was my only benefit I was getting from Facebook. And so once you realize, what is Facebook what is this social media giving you? You can set boundaries with it. You can use the apps you can outline the procedures on how you want to use these apps. So what I did was like, okay, I'm going to change my password on Facebook to some random password. I'm going to write down the password and I'm going to lock it away in my drawer. And like once a month, I'm going to check my account. So I wasn't missing out on the benefits that I was getting from it. And number two, I was getting those benefits that I thought I was getting from the app. I was getting it from somewhere else. So maybe the reason you use Instagram is because Reels are entertaining to you. It gives you something to do with your life. Well, this is the other thing I learned from this book. These apps are just filling a void in your life that exists. So for example, the reason you're scrolling on Reels is because you've got nothing else to do with your time. So it's not about filling that void with something to do. It's about asking yourself, why is there that void in the first place? Why do you feel the need to distract yourself? The other thing in this book that this book mentions is you need to find a way to fill the void. You can't just stop using social media because a void is going to open up and you're going to, be bored. So you need to ask yourself, what do you want from your life? What kind of goals, what kind of skills, what kind of experiences do you want to gain? And start putting your time towards those things. So the final thing I'll mention here is you're going to feel some serious FOMO if you quit these apps, but here's a way to look at it differently. The thing is, the FOMO is not actually real. These companies just implant the FOMO into you. They make you feel like you're missing out if you don't use these apps. Before I even got my Instagram account in the first place, I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. That's why I didn't download the app. But when I actually started using Instagram and I took a break for a couple days, I felt that FOMO. So these apps, the FOMO is not real. It's just these apps make you feel like you're missing out if you're not a part of them. And here's the other thing. It's very easy to know what you're missing out on if you stop using these apps or you distance yourself from them. But you need to stop focusing on what you're missing out on, and you need to focus on what you're gaining by stopping these apps. You know, if you're getting yourself back multiple hours of your life, if you're meeting people in the real world rather than getting your social needs met on social media, then you're not actually missing out on anything. You know, the real world might be more unknown. You don't exactly know what you're gaining, but that doesn't mean you're not gaining anything. And actually what you're missing out on Instagram is such a small proportion of the total of human existence. You know, even on social media itself, there are millions of people you could follow. There are millions of reels you could watch. You're only seeing a small proportion of that. So even on social media itself, you're missing out on most of the things. So if you stop social media, which is just a tiny part of like human existence, suddenly it opens you up to the rest of human existence. You're not actually missing out on anything. You're actually gaining by stopping, distancing yourselves from these apps. So I think this is one of the most deeply important things, that if you can gain your control over your phone usage, it gives you back the life that you actually want. This is why I think it's very important that we, declare war on these companies, because these companies are literally sapping our life away. They are designing these apps to be completely addictive so that they hook you and take you away from your life. Again, it's not about completely deleting these apps, because the thing is, we need them. We really do need them. Like, I post these on YouTube. I post Instagram stories as well of what I'm doing in my day. So your actionable step for this video is take a look at what you think you're gaining by using these apps and asking yourself, is there a better way to get these needs met in the real world? And if there's not, then what's a procedure you could use with these apps to just get the benefit that you need from it? Doesn't mean just check the account once a month. Doesn't mean just keep it on your computer. Doesn't mean just, use it at a specific time every day. You've got to create those boundaries with your apps. Like, for example, I'm still kind of use YouTube more than I'd like. Like, the problem is I go into YouTube recommendations to research YouTube videos to see what's out there on the market to make my videos. And I'll always get distracted and spend 20 minutes watching some random video which gives me no value or whatever. Every now and then I'll go through all my subscriptions and I'll ask myself, okay, is this guy still giving me value? Is this guy still giving me value? So, you can do these things. Right now I'm trying to work on reducing my YouTube addiction, and I'll, document how that's going or whatever. But yeah, in my opinion, this is one of the biggest battles that we need to take seriously. We need to fight against these companies that are taking our attention away and taking control of our life, and we need to gain control over our phones. We need to use our phones like a craftsman rather than letting our phones use us. That's what the book said. So good luck.